My name is Jamie Lockhart. I'm the Managing Director at Frederick Hymes Limited. We're a family-owned business. We've been operating in fresh produce for the last 100 years. We actually celebrate our 100th birthday this time next year. Since we last met, obviously then we'd completed the install of phase one, which was a new washing and intake line. Since then we've obviously now completed stage two. We were very keen to get stage one installed as early as possible because we saw real benefits in the extra polishing that gave us and the presentation of the crop to our pre-existing trimmers. Since the install we've had metering systems fitted to the equipment, comparing what we previously had to what we currently have now. And as we hoped and thought at the time of the install, we're saving about 25% on electricity, which is significant, especially with the high prices that we have at the moment. Water, the water system is quite different in terms of how it recycles water and reuses water, so we're seeing somewhere in the region of 25 to 30% saving there, which is significant, and also very much required as we come under more and more pressure in licensing and the water we're able to use through the site. So our main challenge over the last few years has been labour availability. We're finding it harder and harder to find people that are willing to come in and stand on vegetable lines for long periods of time grading product. So we needed to find a solution that reduced the number of people in the factory. I remember standing in the factory in December 21, and it was not long after we'd seen the initial video of the trimmers. And there was a very stark question going around in my head of exactly that. You know, we either adapt or we stop. There was nothing on the marketplace. We'd researched as far and wide as we could and found very few solutions, past it as being quite a niche crop. And so the opportunity to be involved with Wyman to develop the solution from a very early stage was the real appeal to us. So the development of the optical rotocut, we saw a video very early on in the process of what the trimmer could bring to us at Frederick Hymes. And we worked closely with Wyman to help develop their prototype machine. We then made a decision to have that machine installed in the factory well before time. So I think the thing that really drew us to Wyman was their outside the box thinking. You know, we have a factory here that is of a certain size and a certain shape, and we needed their technology to fit and mesh into our existing line. When it came to the install of line 2, we'd kind of started the project from the front to the back, and it made the install of the second stage quite difficult because obviously the first stage was already in place. But both with our in-house engineering team and Wyman, we set to it and came up with some outside the box thinking.
We're working with a very advanced computer vision system here that had to be optimised to work across varying crop conditions. The partnership with Frederick Hymes allowed us to do all that work and training of our computer models here on site, and all the iterations and changes to the mechanical features of the machines here on site. And I think that's very key because what we're able to do there is we're able to deliver a market-driven product that satisfies both Wyman and the customer.
So in terms of what efficiencies we've seen with the install of the rotocut, you know, when we had our line initially tested, we were damaging quite a lot of crop through the old manual system. So we were about 65 to 70% efficient. The trimming accuracy of the rotocut is we were 95% in spec, which is exactly as it was badged when we committed to buying the equipment. The previous system we had 20 people feeding the manual lines for the trimmers. We now have 2 full-time operatives looking after the trimmers. We need to do about 6 tonne an hour. The machines are fairly routinely doing that now. I mean, I think in terms of what it's allowed us to do, what it's done is given us confidence that we can go out into the marketplace and go after the volume that we've now got. We feel now, you know, we do have world-first technology in the factory here. We're the first to have a fully automated trimming line, and you know, it's something that both our suppliers who are getting better returns through optimised crop and our customers who are getting a better end result, that is welcomed by both sides. The investment that we've made in the factory has allowed us to have conversations with other businesses that we previously wouldn't have been able to have about working collaboratively with them. We've seen a doubling of throughput through the line, and that's largely down to a relationship with Burgess Farms. We're now washing and trimming all of their retail parsnips. And from that, we've set up a grower group that is managing our supply chain of raw material coming into the site. So we very much would recommend Weimar to other growers, and I think the main reason is their flexible approach to these types of projects. We very much felt that this was a team effort all the way through this process. We've been very well supported. We think the quality and the build quality of the machines is very, very, very good. There are certain moments in business where you just get that feel that you're on the right track. And we're delighted where we've got to. Yeah, it's been a very good relationship and one that we hope to continue.